Result day. And it's another day. We are back after the election results. The NDA seems to have lost. The NDA is back in majority, but the BJP seems to have fallen short of that mark of 272. But we are back with a brand new edition of Power Breakfast in the Mumbai News Center. I am Hormuz Fatakia. Let's first take a look at the major headlines that we are tracking this morning. The NDA looks set for a third consecutive term, but as we mentioned, the BJP falls short of a majority as the India bloc springs a surprise in key swing states. Allies Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu are likely to play kingmakers. The opposition is alive and kicking. The India bloc wins over 230 seats, with the Congress nearly touching triple digits with its best performance since 2009. The big jolt to the BJP comes from the Uttar Pradesh state, where the opposition wins over 40 out of the 80 states, led by a strong resurgence by Akhilesh Yadav's Samajwadi Party. Stock markets plunge as the BJP falls short of a majority. Sensex and Nifty fall over 5% to register their biggest single-day drop in 4 years. Market cap worth over 30 lakh crore rupees wiped out in a single day. Wall Street closes with gains as Treasury yields slip. The Asian markets trade mix, while the GIFT Nifty is suggesting a higher start for the Indian markets after yesterday's massive fall. And crude prices extend losses for the fifth straight session to fall to a 4-month low after the OPEC decides to increase production from October. Gold prices dip ahead of the US jobs report for the month of May. Negotiations have begun for the government formation, and we are back with this edition of Power Breakfast in the Mumbai News Center. I am Hormuz Fatakia, and as we mentioned, the NDA alliance has comfortably crossed the halfway mark of 272, capturing 290 seats, posing to form the government for the third straight term. But surprising, the up move by the India alliance, garnering 234 seats, that has given the opposition a good edge. Parikshit Luthra is here with the breakup of the seats from the key states and a rundown of yesterday's verdict. Parikshit.
Well, it's a big day. Narendra Modi government set to come to power with a third term. But this time, this will not be a BJP ki sarkar. It will be a NDA ki sarkar. And this is the reason why the BJP has not been able to secure a majority on its own. It has won 240 seats, and they will reach the majority mark and cross it to 290, 292 with the help of parties like the TDP and the JDU. It is really the day of the regional parties. The Congress has made big gains. They had won 52 odd seats in 2019. They have won 99 this time around. The Samajwadi Party, the big gainer in Uttar Pradesh with 37 seats. TMC winning 29, DMK 22. In fact, the DMK Congress alliance fully successful in winning all the seats in Tamil Nadu. TDP and JDU, they will be very crucial for the NDA now. In fact, the TDP chief, Chandrababu Naidu, has gone on to say that we'll be forming an NDA government in Andhra Pradesh, and we are supporting the NDA at a national level as well. The Congress, even Uddhav Thackeray, have gone on to say that the India alliance should be staking claim to form the government. And it seems that there could be some tension over the next few days. But we've been told that the Council of Ministers is meeting tomorrow. And in the next few days, government formation could also take place. In fact, bookings have also been made in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Let's look at some of the key states and how they figured. The state of Uttar Pradesh, this was a big upset for the BJP and the NDA. Their tally has come down to 36 from 64 last time around, down 28 seats. A big jump for the India alliance to 40 through largely account of Samajwadi Party. Big upsets from constituencies like Sultanpur, where Menaka Gandhi lost to the Samajwadi Party candidate. Also from constituencies like Amethi, Vikal Sharma, an ordinary Congress worker, managed to defeat Smriti Irani, and also from Raebareli, which has Rahul Gandhi in the driver's seat. He has defended his family bastion very successfully. A major upset coming also from Faizabad, where a Samajwadi Party candidate has won, and this is where Ayodhya is. So clearly, this is something that is going to hurt the BJP. They were hoping to win big because of the Ram temple, and clearly that's not really helped BJP in different parts of the country. The Prime Minister winning in Varanasi against Ajay Rai of the Congress by over 1 lakh votes. So apart from the upset in Uttar Pradesh, there has been an upset in Maharashtra as well, where the India Alliance, comprising of the Uddhav Bal Thackeray Sena and the Sharad Pawar NCP, has managed to help the India Alliance. Nitin Gadkari, Piyush Goyal from the BJP, all winning by comfortable margins. One state that the BJP would really take heart from in the south zone would be Kerala, where in Thrissur, Suresh Gopi of the BJP has won. The BJP for the first time opening its account in the state of Kerala. On a nationwide basis, there is an upset from Gujarat because Banaskantha, this constituency number 2, has been won by the Congress. In fact, the Congress is winning a seat in the state of Gujarat for the first time since 2009. This constituency has been won by the Congress, so the Congress literally making sure that the BJP cannot have a hat-trick in Gujarat. Now, again, if we speak about a nationwide picture, Madhya Pradesh has helped the BJP in a big way. The BJP has won all the seats in Madhya Pradesh, even winning the Kamal Nath family bastion of Chhindwara. Nakul Nath losing from there. Odisha has been a big surprise, so to say. Let's look at the Odisha numbers. The Biju Janata Dal has been reduced to 1 Lok Sabha seat, 11 seats gained for the BJP. Sambit Patra, Dharmendra Pradhan, BJP leaders winning in a big way. The BJP will also be forming the government in the Odisha Assembly. Naveen Patnaik losing his own Assembly seat. He has been Chief Minister for 24 years. So, end of an era in Odisha with Naveen Patnaik and the Biju Janata Dal losing. If you look at West Bengal, now here too, the BJP had put up a stiff campaign against the TMC, with the TMC managing to win almost 29 seats, a big gain over last time, and the BJP reduced to 12 seats. So throughout the country, it has been advantage opposition, and one factor that really affected the BJP was low voter turnout. In fact, if you look at seats with low voter turnout, there were at least 108 seats across 7 phases where the voter turnout was less. And in these seats, it is the India Alliance which has really gained with 56 seats. That is a 20-seat jump. So over the next 2 to 3 days, we will see some sort of political mudslinging. There may be some attempts to move court or complain to the Election Commission. The India Alliance may show a show of unity. So there will be a lot of political headlines over the next few days, but for the moment, the NDA Alliance with 292 seats is comfortably poised to form a government for the 3rd term.
Parikshit, thanks a lot for that, for the complete lowdown of what transpired yesterday on counting day. Now, following the election results that had its set of wins and losses and surprises, of course, a number of brokerages have also come out with their outlook and what it could mean for the market. Sonal is here to detail us the brokerage notes. Sonal, good morning. What do the brokerages say?
Good morning, Hormaz. Well, you know, it has come in as a surprise, of course. That's what the brokerages are saying. But some of them are saying the investors should stay put, and some of them have become cautious as well. Let me start with UBS, where they say they believe investors from here on will focus on government formation and the choice of Prime Minister now that BJP doesn't have majority in the government. Second is policy support, policy choices to support growth vis-a-vis ensuring macro stability. And third, the reform narrative from here on. What they will focus on is the upcoming union budget announcements. The second will be the implementation of labor laws. And third, they think the next set of reforms in land and capital that the markets are hoping for will be lower than what they were expecting. There will be a disappointment because now the political capital is lower than what was seen in 2019 and 2014. CLSA says that even after the pullback that we saw yesterday, a massive one at that, Nifty remains 19 times above its 18-year historical average PE. Even the premium of mid and small caps is higher, and it is also near record high if we compare it with the Nifty. They take out L&T from their India-focused portfolio and are replacing it with HCL Tech. ITC remains their preferred staples name. And they are now clearly overweight banks, commodities and IT along with insurance and staples. They say exposure to Modi stocks is limited to ONGC, but they do fear derating in the expensive discretionary and capex space from here on. Bernstein says that they believe the continuity of power is a powerful enough narrative to support the economy. They think that while focus will shift to subsidies now versus capex, they do not see a material impact in the near term, and the Nifty target is unchanged at 23,500. But they do see some volatility going ahead in the markets as well. Financials is their key overweight, but they do have selective picks across the sectors. They remain underweight on small and mid caps over large caps, and from a very short-term perspective, they expect markets will see some drawdowns. Lastly, MK, because now they have turned defensive on the markets after this election results, their Nifty target is cut to 22,000 versus 24,000 earlier. They expect a model D-rating now. And portfolio positioning also turns defensive. They've gone overweight on FMCG, IT and healthcare at the cost of industrials, and their stock selection also favors quality stock with earnings visibility over higher risk cyclicals. There have been some changes made in model portfolios across brokerages.
A mixed picture there. Sonal, thanks a lot for that. Brokerage views continue to come in after counting day. But it's time for a short break now. When we return, we get to the trade setup for today after yesterday's big verdict and the big market fall. Stay tuned. Back on the other side. Welcome back. You're joining us on our post-election coverage, and we now have our research team joining in with how the trade setup looks like, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and the FNO cues that you need to watch out for today as well. First up, Vivek is joining in to get all the market cues that you need to watch out for. Vivek, 2 straight days, one a day to remember and a day to forget. What's the setup looking like this morning?
I was just going to say yesterday was a day to forget as far as market participants are concerned. You took the words out of my mouth, but you're absolutely right. You know, it's quite a spooky session as far as D Street was concerned. What actually happened, the lower than expected NDA toll tally is something that actually gone ahead and ensured that all of the gains that we saw on Monday were taken out, and along with that, some more selling was seen. Now, you know, what actually happened and what actually transpired at the end of the day, the ticker indicated that the Nifty fell over 1,300 points, but what it doesn't indicate was the fact that at one point of time, we were almost hitting the 10% lower circuit, quite a bit of a rebound seen intraday. Now, Bank Nifty actually saw a deeper cut given the fact that it rallied a lot more on Monday, down over 4,000 points in a single trading session. The Nifty Next 50 and the broader end of the market, the mid-cap index, the small-cap index, the Nifty 500, that is where quite a lot of the pain also expended. The Nifty Next 50 slipped over 9%. Mid-cap, small-cap indexes, 7% and 8% respectively was the kind of fall that they saw in a single trading session. The India VIX at one point, you know, was spiking significantly, but it ended the day, you know, surged over 27%. What was the sole bright spot in yesterday's trading session? That was the FMCG index, and within that, you know, the top gainers were included names like HUL. Now the narrative that the market is working with currently is the shift from capex to consumption, and that is something that even today we expect to see some further buying activity as far as the entire FMCG stocks are concerned. What dragged the market lower? It was the entire PSU basket, utilities, oil and gas, a lot where, you know, capex was something that the street was looking forward to. That took quite a bit of a knock. Today, the GIFT Nifty is indicating a 0.5% tick higher. It'll be interesting to see whether that sustains or it's a sell on rise market.
A gap up opening after the kind of sell-off that we had yesterday. Vivek, thanks a lot for joining in. Over to Abhishek now, who list out the stocks that you need to watch out for. Abhishek, good morning.
Good morning, Homa. So to begin with, Hindalco is in focus given the fact that Novelis has postponed their IPO due to market condition, and they'll continue to evaluate the timing of their IPO with respect to, you know, the offering coming into the market in future. Tata Motors Tata Motors Finance will merge with Tata Capital. Rashtriya Chemical Fertilizer recovery notice of rupees 265 crore has been given to them for unreasonable profits. Shilpa Medicare, they have filed a DMF with US FDA for drug developed by their patented processes, that is EQ Lightning Arms unit commences production on the same. Texmaco, they'll buy 51% equity stake in Metro Interiors. That is for a consideration of rupees 9 crore. Back to you.
Abhishek, thanks a lot for that. And lastly, we move over to Nigel, who is joining in with cues from the FNO space. Nigel, it started to rain here in Mumbai and volatility seems to be raining on the street.
Well, if you're looking for a positive, then, you know, I'll tell you what, I'm just coming from, from the suburbs from Bandra to Worli, and I've absolutely got drenched this morning. So we're looking for positives. Normally, when you see the first showers here in Mumbai, that's a bit of a positive, and we're lacking some of those positives. So good to see. some positives coming in there. What are the FIs doing yesterday's trading session? The unbound longs closed on 67,000 contracts in trade yesterday, and the added short positions closed on 91,000 short contracts is what they added, which took the short positions yet again from around that 72% to around 87% approximately. And just pull up the bar chart. That'll tell you, oh, okay, we don't have, if you just pulled up a chart, you'll see that the net short positions, they have moved up yet again to around 3.55 lakh contracts, which is important. Remember, when we saw a bit of a bounce, it came in at around 3.2 lakh contracts. So that's another piece of news you need to keep an eye on. What did the FIs do? Well, we have already told you about that. But what did the clients do? In yesterday's trading session, well, we did see some kind of long addition yet again. So they added on to the long. So the dip that was there, we did see some fresh long positioning on index futures itself. The key levels to track on the Nifty, well, we'll be looking at on the downside, we'll be looking at yesterday's low as well as the 200 DMA, which comes in around the 21,000 odd mark. And on the Nifty Bank as well. Yesterday around 46,000 odd got defended. So the 200 DMA becomes very, very important on the downside. On the upside, the 20 as well as the 50 DMA, that's the crucial number you're looking at. If the bulls can get past that, then you'll be feeling good. Otherwise, I'm expecting a bit of a range-bound session for the next few sessions. Back to you.
20 and the 50 DMA to watch out for. Nigel, thanks a lot for that update. Time for a short break. Up next, we get to the global market setup on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We told you what transpired yesterday, how the setup for today's session looks like. Let's now take a look at how the Asian markets are faring, and it's a mixed picture across the Asia Pacific because most of the Asian markets are trading fairly higher. The Hang Seng is up over 1%. The Taiwanese index is flat but trades with a positive bias. The Japanese indices, though, are the underperformers, and they are the ones that are leading the losses in Asia. The Nikkei is down over 1%. Their broader market index, which is the Topix, that is down over 1.5%. So the losses in Asia are coming from Japan. But the rest of the markets seem to be doing fairly well in today's session. Their Hang Seng is up 1%, as is the Kospi in South Korea. So most of the markets are in the green in the Asia Pacific, save for Japan. But the services growth data that has come in from China, and that has surged to a 10-month high in the month of May, and that is somewhat reflective on the Chinese stocks as well. So positive macro cues coming in from China. The Asian markets are trading largely positive. And pull up the GIFT Nifty as well, as Vivek was highlighting earlier. It is indicating a gap up start. It was up 160 points just a few minutes ago. That has now trimmed down to 145. So we'll wait and see if these kind of gains sustain or this turns out to be a sell on rise market, as Vivek was highlighting earlier as well. Now over to Wall Street now, and the indices there ended higher on Tuesday as investors await the monthly jobs report. On Friday, the Dow Jones climbed over 100 points. The S&P 500 also managed to eke out some gains in a muted session. The tech-heavy Nasdaq was also up just 0.2%. The U.S. Treasury yields also slipped yesterday, with the 10-year down 6 basis points at 4.3%. CNBC's Bertha Coombs gets us a wrap of all the action on Wall Street.
U.S. markets finished up fractionally higher on a percentage basis across the major indexes as investors await the monthly jobs report on Friday. The Dow added 140 points, the S&P 500 gained 8, while the tech-heavy Nasdaq was up 28 points. We did get some employment data today. The jobs openings apparently fell more than expected in April, a potential sign of weakening in the labor market, which could help make the case at the Federal Reserve to start lowering interest rates sooner rather than later. The so-called JOLTS report is closely watched by Fed officials to try to help gauge the movement in the economy and determine monetary policy. According to the Labor Department, job openings were at the lowest level since February of 2021. And emails circulated inside NVIDIA and obtained by CNBC show that Elon Musk told the chipmaker to prioritize its shipment of processors to his privately owned company, social media firm X, and his AI company XAI instead of Tesla, where they were originally headed, effectively pushing back by months the receipt of more than $500 million worth of processing units, which are integral to the setup of the supercomputers that the company needs to develop autonomous vehicles and robots. Musk had not responded to requests for comment. That's what's happening here in the U.S. Back over to you in Mumbai.
Bertha Coombs there with the wrap on Wall Street. Let us now listen into some important opinion that is coming in from experts on the US market outlook and the expectations of a rate cut by the US Federal Reserve.
My sense is that there is a very high, reasonable probability that the Fed doesn't cut it all this year. This is what our economists tell us. There's even a, very non-zero probability, I don't know what it is, but it's, higher and higher, that the Fed actually, their next move is a hike. And I don't think that would be terrible for stocks. In fact, I think that would be good for value for some of these areas that are more kind of GDP sensitive. Because think about it, the Fed is going to cut if there's something wrong in the economy. And I think you've brought this point out brilliantly in the past, that the Fed basically is only going to cut when things are starting to break.
And now Manisha Gupta is joining in with all the updates from the commodity space. Manisha, good morning. Commodities were hot and hotter in May, and now there's a bit of a sell-off now.
Oh, absolutely, Hormuz. Yes. Overnight, we're looking at most of the commodities actually showing a decline, and Asia hasn't started on a very strong note yet. While, of course, the China service data is quite on the stronger side, but that impact is yet to be seen on the prices right now. So I'll take you through on what's happening with metals. If you look at copper, we've seen 2.5% of decline overnight. With that, now the copper rally really seems to be coming at a pause, and we are trading at a 1-month lows onto this one. And that's exactly what we are seeing in other metals also. Steel prices have continued to decline. Iron ore prices fell 2% overnight, and we are trading at a 7-week lows onto this one. Gold prices fell 1%, and silver fell 3.5% overnight. Not just this, if you look at the crude oil prices, they fell 1.5% overnight. And with Brent oil prices, we are trading at a 4-month lows right now. While the economic data hasn't been so strong, the US dollar trading slightly on the higher side, and the market's clearly waiting for the US jobs data that comes in on Friday. So ahead of that, there's a lot of choppiness that we see across commodities.
All eyes on the US jobs report. Manisha, thanks a lot for that update. But with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Power Breakfast this morning. Bazaar Morning Call sets you up for today's trading session on the other side. From me and the team that put this show together, thank you so much for watching.